And that is, in order to understand comparative literature, actually we have to analyze several perspectives. Okay, so comparative literature in the world, and comparative literature in European countries, comparative literature in German, African, Asian continent. So comparative literature will several perspectives. Okay. Previously, it was said that Shapon Mojumdar, Indian critic, he has written a book that is Comparative Literature, Indian Dimension. And in that book, he has said that comparative literature will be a connection relating to national identity. Comparative literature will be dealing with national literature or literature of every country. In that regard, comparative literature will be dealing with national identity. This is a connection between the previous comment done by Shapon Mojumdar in India. In 1974, Francoist Jost, he propounds that national literature cannot constitute an intelligible field of study because of its arbitrarily limited perspectives. So Shapon Mojumdar said that comparative literature will be dealing with national identity. Here opposite commented by Francoist Jost in 1974. He said that comparative literature or national literature cannot be comparative literature. It is a different genre. Okay, he said. Whereas comparative literature presents more than an academic discipline. More than an academic. We had been talking that comparative literature, is it a department or a branch of a department? Or is it a genre or is it a subgenre? Here he said that comparative literature represents more than an academic discipline, more than a subject. Why? It is an overall view of the literature of the world of letters. World of letters, overall view. That means if you go on comparative literature, you will have the idea of the literatures among the globe. What type of literature is written in Africa at this moment? What type of literature is written in the western part of the US? Okay, so that is the scenario. So it is an overall view of literature of the world of letters, of a humanistic ecology. Ecology, ecological balance. There should be a balance of comparison. That means there is an ecology in nature. There is an ecology, isn't it? যেটা ভারসাম্য থাকে প্রত্যেকটা জিনিসের মধ্যে, প্রকৃতির মধ্যে. In the same way, comparative literature is called a humanistic ecology, a literary philosophy, or a view of life, a vision of the cultural universe, inclusive and comprehensive. So, comparative literature will have a far extended field that can be called that a humanistic ecology, that through the letters, through the literary piece, through the culture, through the other aspects of social sciences, it will be linkage. It will be the linkages among the all literatures of the globe. So, and for this reason, it is called a humanistic ecology. So, national literature, the debate started with national consciousness and national identity, but that goes that more than the national identity. He said that it is not a national literature, but it is more than national literature. It is a humanistic ecology based on literature and culture. For Jost, like Gale proposes, comparative literature is a kind of world religion, a far better perspective. He said that comparative literature will be a world religion. World religion, that means কি সারা বিশ্বের মানুষ যে জিনিসটা নিয়ে কাজ করছে সেটা বলছে কে গেলে another perspectives. It means that when a reader reads a great work, all cultural differences disappear. Okay, so a literature, if it is a great literature, it is written by X, Y, Z, anybody else, but when a reader reads that text, the cultural differences disappears. That means that differences will not be no more. That means that would be the part of the all humankind. just like the Goethe. He said that poetry is a property of humankind, all humankind. So he said, and art is seen as an instrumental of universal harmony through art. Okay, Mona Lisa and the other picture, they represent the cultural harmony that is not in Italy or in Europe, but Mona Lisa is a part of world culture. That means that is initiated. And comparatist, what the comparatist will do? Comparatist one who facilitates the spirit of that harmony. So through comparative literature, we can compare with world literature, that can be the world harmony, and that harmony will be enhanced by the activities of comparatist. Comparatist means the scholars who will be comparing literature or culture up to different times or to different countries. Okay. So that is the situation. So comparatist must possess a special skill. Anybody can't be comparatist. And what is the special skill? Well, we have talked about this person earlier. Wellek and Warren, in their theory of literature, a book that was enormously significant in comparative literature when it first appeared in 1949, suggests that comparative literature will make high demands on the linguistic proficiency of our scholars. Okay? So linguistic proficiency will be needed. It asks for a widening of perspectives, a suspension of local and provincial sentiment, not easy to achieve. So who will be the comparatist? Comparatist will enhance the international harmony through comparing literature and culture. And who will be the comparatist? Comparatist will have a special quality, linguistic proficiency, and also the local and provincial sentiment he has to be eradicate. তার মধ্যে যে একটা ন্যাশনাল এবং নিজের দেশকে ভালোবাসার যে একটা টেন্ডেন্সি আছে, নিজের সাহিত্যকে ভালোবাসার যে একটা টেন্ডেন্সি আছে, ইউরোপ they will always say that their literature is great and other literature is not so great. If anybody will have such kind of tendency, he will not be the comparatist. Comparatist will have to discard the local and provincial sentiment. Comparatist will be watching a literature from a broader perspectives, a perspectives of literary art. What is the merit of the art? Not from the perspectives of a nation, not from the perspectives of an individual. That would be the action of comparatist. Comparatists have depicted some with a vocation. Vocation, that means the voluntary activity they have to do. As a kind of international ambassador. Sometimes we say that you are the ambassador of English department, isn't it? But comparatist will be the ambassador. But in which country? They will be the international ambassador. They will be the ambassador for all countries of this world. And where his job is in United Nations. Okay, working in the comparative literatures of United Nations. So comparatists, what they will do, they will discard their national and provincial perspectives, and they will see literature with a broader perspectives. And when they will see a literature on the basis of a literature, then he will be the international ambassador of disseminating the merits of a literature. Not simply that it is written by a US writer, it is written by a European writer, it's good. It is written by an Asian writer, it is not good, not like that. Comparatist will be judging a literature based on its merit. And if he can do so, then he will be the international ambassador working in United Nations. Does it make sense? Good. Wellek and Warren stand that literature is one, as art and humanity are one. We see North American literature, Latin American literature, Asian literature, African literature. But here, Warren and Wellek, they said that actually literature is one. That means it has some merit. Just like the humanity are one. Art is one. Art is art. Art is